Welcome back, guys, to episode 3. Episode 3 already, Tony.
Episode 3. Trace.
Wow. They can't get rid of us now.
No. It's funny that we keep
catching on.
Well, they don't say anything, so we're going to keep coming back.
That's right. Eh? No, that's, guys, we've gotten some nice compliments and some nice messages.
We have.
We enjoy it. So we're going to keep this thing going. We got some great stuff to talk about and, all kinds of different subjects. And of course, we'll touch on Rocky. We'll touch on Rambo. We'll hit some movies and maybe some trivia down the road as well. So we've always got stuff to talk about.
Yes, we will. But yeah, the third episode. So this is good. And you're right. I like the support we've been getting from Rocky Land. It's really nice. And even other genres out there,
that's right.
Sent over some nice things. So we must be doing something right. Hopefully.
Yeah. How you been, Tony? How was your week?
It was pretty good. How about you?
Yeah, it was a good week.
Good.
Nice weather.
My daughter's birthday's tomorrow, so we're going to go see Top Gun again.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. That's a great.
That's what she wanted to do.
Now you're going to see it in the D box this time?
No, I asked her about that. She said no. She wanted to see the regular again.
Yeah.
Because my wife's coming with my younger daughter. My younger daughter didn't see it yet.
Okay.
So, but we might try the D box at another point. We'll see.
Right. No, that's great.
Nothing else going on. How about you up there? How's your weather?
Our weather is we're in a bit of a heat wave. No, actually we've got a lot of rain, and I think we've gotten that from you guys. You guys had a storm there.
Yeah.
We seem to get a little bit of the, it'll be a day or 2 days later, and they're calling for a heavy rain warning tonight. So we're batting down the hatches. We're bunkering down. So we figured
put a Rocky movie
down here
and
put a Rocky movie on and relax. And the Oilers are playing later tonight. They're struggling. They're down 3-0 to the Avalanche. They're on life support.
Oh, they're down 3 games.
They're down 3-0. They need to win 4 straight. So,
well,
it ain't over.
It ain't over till it's over, right?
That's right. Ain't nothing over till it's over.
Right? What's that from? The 90s?
I think it's probably the 70s. I love that line, right?
Great.
I love how he put that in the movie. So, and anybody that doesn't know, we're talking about Rocky Balboa when he's talking to Mason Dixon, and just some life lessons there from Rocky. So, I'm sure you've all seen that before.
I would hope so. If not, do your homework.
Yeah,
Rocky's generational. I like that he called over his son for that too, and he said, "No, Robert, you hang here with me." And everybody else
I did too. Yeah,
I love that. I love that. Give the kid a little full of life lesson, like you said. But they are, man. They're generational movies. I mean, my daughters love them. They're in their teens.
Yeah.
They're just little kids love them. I mean, it's so. I told you before, if I have a shirt on or something, even younger kids will say something to me when they see the shirt, or they know the typical "Yo, Adrian" and stuff like that. But it really is. It's generational to all walks of life. It is something that won't ever go away because it can apply to every decade of living. I mean, no matter when you were born, you're going to have heartaches and troubles and hills to climb and, keep moving forward and all that stuff. So, no matter how old you are, it's going to be there. It's going to be there to motivate you. And that's why I like it so much too. Yeah. But the funny part when you really see things is that it's all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's right.
It just must be amazing to have that. Something he created. Every walk of life across the planet knows of Rocky.
That's right.
In one form or another. They know maybe the arms up, they know the Yo, Adrian, but they know of him, and to have it affect the whole planet, that's insane.
The thing is, if you show somebody a picture, let's say you show them a picture of, let's say Yankee Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
And then you show them a picture of the Rocky Steps.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guarantee you, everyone is going to know what those steps are.
Yeah,
a lot of people may not know what the Yankee Stadium is. Now I know it's a new Yankee Stadium, but they made it.
Yeah, but still,
like the old one. But you show them a picture in the UK of the Rocky Steps. Yeah, they're all going to know what that is.
Yeah,
they may not know what the building is on top, as I didn't when I was younger.
Yeah, a lot of people don't even know it's a museum. Right? I mean, but they know it's more well known for the Rocky Steps than
Yeah.
the art inside. So
That's right.
I'm
And
no
he, you
nothing
know what?
against the art, no
He
offense,
even
but
said that. He even
yeah,
used that in Rocky 5.
yeah,
Been running up down these steps all these years, and I never knew there was
yeah.
valuable
I
pictures
never knew it
inside.
was in there.
Right. So, but his
But
son
that's
said,
but
"You're
it's
going to
true. It's
love
all
Picasso." You
countries,
know?
everywhere. Even
Yeah.
Canadians love them.
Hmm.
And they got best bet the both worlds up there. They
Yeah,
got
that's right.
Rocky and Rambo. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's right.
do they like one more than the other? Like this is in Canada, does Rambo mean more than Rocky
You know
does?
what? It's hard to say. I think we get caught up in it like everybody else.
Hmm.
When there's a Rocky movie on, when there's a Rambo movie that comes out. Now, we do have a little bit personal connection to Rambo,
Right. Right.
in Hope, British Columbia. That's where they filmed First Blood, and they filmed it in 1981. It came out in 1982. But so we take a little bit of pride that they chose that location, Hope, British Columbia, and I
Is
think
that near you?
no, that so
On the complete
you're
opposite side?
yeah, that's on the other side of the literally the other side of the country. So
Yeah.
if I was
So
to
it's like New
drive
York to
there,
California.
it would be about 42-hour drive.
Ooh.
Yeah, if that now that's going straight. No one's going to
Yeah.
drive
Yeah.
42 hours. But let me see here. I got some
Yeah.
pictures
Now
here.
Hope is not the real name of that town, correct? Is that correct? If I remember?
Uh,
Is
pardon
Hope the
me?
real is Hope the real name of the town where they
Yes, it
filmed it?
is. Yes.
Oh, Hope's the real name.
Um,
Okay.
but so in the movie, it was called Hope, Washington. They made a fictitious name,
Right.
but
Right.
it's called Hope. And let me see if I can get my pictures here. And here's a picture from the movie.
Welcome to Hope.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, that
I'll
went by
put you back
fast.
up.
There we go.
So now that sign, they took a piece of that sign. It's still there in
Okay.
one of the parks. They took it down. That was obviously for the movie.
Okay.
Um,
The gateway to holiday part.
the Gateway to Holiday part.
Okay.
And the other thing is this statue is in the town.
Look at that.
So that was, and I apologize. I hope we get his name right. Ryan Villers created that statue and presented it to the town. Sly actually commented on it on his Instagram, and
That's
they
so
did an
cool.
article. So that's a pretty cool. That's a pretty cool
Now,
statue.
it looks like it's wood.
It's all wood. Yeah,
It
he
is really.
carved it out
Oh
of
wow.
wood. Yep. This guy does all kinds of carvings,
That's
and
cool.
yeah,
Now see the lines are down the street to take the picture with that statue, like the
y-
Rocky statue.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
They actually have a gentleman that will dress up like Rambo
Oh
and
really?
reenact some of the scenes.
Oh really?
So I think that's a part of the characters the Sly creates, right? Like people get so invested in
Yeah.
these characters, right? So, um, yeah, we'll
Yeah,
put
that's
this
why I
up.
was thinking maybe Canada had a little more of an attachment to Rambo
Right,
than Rocky because
right,
same thing with the Northeast area being closer to Philly. More of
hmm
those people are definitely more attached to him than Rambo.
right.
But that's an amazing statue. That's really cool.
No, that's great. And the thing is, with First Blood, they changed a lot. Like I have the book here.
Hmm.
Let's see if I can get that up my camera. So the book by
David,
David Morrell.
David
It actually
Morrell.
came out
Yep.
in 1972.
Yeah,
This is not the original copy, but this is a copy. It's quite a bit different from the movie because when they got Stallone on board, he became part of the screen. Did some of the screenplay. There was three
hmm
of them, and they changed quite a bit of the dialogue. One of his requests was to take out most of Rambo's dialogue. He felt it would be better. Some of the dialogue was kind of corny,
right.
and he didn't think it would be effective. The thing with Sly is he really knows what an audience wants, right? That he has the
Hmm.
ability to read an audience. He's been doing this for so long. So they kind of went with his idea of giving
Well, it
him less
makes sense. I
lines,
mean, he's a loner soldier,
right?
who's obviously misunderstood in the real world outside the military.
Yeah,
He's not going to be chatty,
right.
So it was smart of them to cut out his dialogue.
So there's another scene from the movie. Now that bridge, believe it or not, they dismantled it. They got rid of it about 12 years ago.
Oh, okay.
The town actually tried to save it. They tried to
Oh,
save
really?
that bridge. They didn't want it to go, right? But now I don't know if they raffled it off or they gave it away, but there was people were getting pieces of it, and they were having
Oh, really?
contests. So it might have been a
That's
charity
awesome.
thing, but they were like, like anything else, having a piece of that bridge, right? And
Right.
in your collection. So they take it pretty seriously. Um, they get a lot of tours. There's filming locations of different
Oh, so
spots in the
there's a
movie.
Rambo
Yep.
tour. Oh, okay,
Well,
that's pretty
I don't
cool.
know if it's an actual tour, but there's
Okay,
like you can go there, and if they they film, I think they film maybe 5 or 6 movies there a year, maybe, or are parts of the location. And they said, I was reading that they said that nothing has had the impact like First Blood. Like
sure.
everybody takes First Blood and they think of their town. So they yeah, so it's a little closer to their heart and our hearts in Canada. So to be part of the topic. And the other thing was, now you've seen First Blood, of course.
Yeah.
Richard Crenna, who played Sam Troutman,
Yep.
was not the first choice
No,
for Sam
no, he
Troutman.
was not. I
Al
even know that.
Pacino turned it down. Al Pacino turned the role down, and then they were going to give the role to Kirk Douglas.
Yeah.
And Kirk Douglas wanted to make all these changes, and Kirk Douglas, um, the funny thing was, he started, talking in the third person. Kirk Douglas wouldn't say this line. Kirk Douglas wants to
Oh,
do it
did
like
he?
this, and then they eventually said, "Why doesn't Kirk Douglas go back to L.A.?"
Right.
And they got Richard Crenna.
And you know what? And Crenna, I mean, not that he's not a well-known actor,
No,
because in a movie community, everybody knows Richard
hmm
Crenna, or may not even know by name, but they know him. But Kirk Douglas obviously is a lot bigger of a name,
that's right.
and I
hmm
actually think it worked out better that it
hmm
wasn't such a star level name
Yeah,
for Troutman.
hmm
I
it
think
was.
worked out better for that movie.
Yeah, but he like I said, he came in. They gave him the script on Friday. He showed up on Monday, so he was reading his script on the plane flying in, and he hadn't memorized any of his lines. So he would, for the first few scenes, he would be like line, and they would feed him his lines. And I mean, we all know the lines from Rambo. Like if I would say to you, God didn't create Rambo,
Yeah.
I
He's
did.
like,
We
no, I
all know
did.
who said that,
I
right?
did.
We all know who said that.
It's such
So
a perfect intro to the
it
character too,
is,
right?
yeah, and that is, we always have these first characters, right? We go back to Rocky, and the first time you see Mickey, and he taps him on the shoulder, and he says, "Shut up," like
Just
like
yelled at him right away.
like it's unbelievable how we meet some of the characters for the first time. But
Yeah.
um, Teasel, the scene where they set up. So let me see the book. Like I said, the book is quite a bit different. If I'm not
They
going to spoil
usually
it, because
are. I mean, if
it came out in
if it is
'72,
based off a novel, it is
right?
usually different in a lot of. I have not read the book,
hmm
to be honest with you. So but I will now. Now that I hear it's so different, I do
Right.
want to see how different it is.
Yeah. So
But
I
yeah,
mean, I'm not gonna. I don't think I'm gonna spoil this from anybody. But read the book, and we'll discuss that some other time. Like the
yeah,
changes between the books. That's another whole episode. The books to the movies, because they did books on the Rocky movies too, that are
right.
quite a bit different, right? So
And that's actually the only spot that you see that he's called Robert, not Rocky, is in
that's
the
right.
book.
hmm
They never even mentioned it in any of the films.
Right.
That was his name. But Crenna did a great job in that movie. He really did.
hmm
I liked him. I think he played I like how he was warning, the sheriff, Brian Dennehy.
hmm
He's like, look, man, you guys are gonna get killed.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Denny's looking at him like, stop. He's one guy.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, we all got to do our job, just like the people in the special forces, right? But
Yeah.
we're just a small hick down sheriff department. So, but he was warning them. He said, let it go. Just
Hey.
let him go. Give him a space, and then we'll pick him up in a gas station.
Yep.
Nobody will get hurt. Nobody get killed. So,
Yep.
they
Yep. And
probably
if you
should
would
have
have
listened.
listened, obviously it wouldn't have been as exciting of a movie, but
No, that's right.
it would have been true.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, it was a combination of, the sheriff's not gonna, this kid's not gonna tell me what to do in my town,
hmm
and pride and long haired hippie.
Yeah.
But he just wanted something to eat. That was all he wanted, man.
All he wanted was something to eat, right? So the man
But
kept pushing.
and it's funny too, because some of the other characters in that movie were played by later on. Well, David Caruso's in it,
hmm
and he obviously had a bigger career after that.
Yeah. Brian Denny.
Dennehy was already, established actor.
Sure. Yeah. And he's no longer with us, but
No,
like I
no,
said,
he's not.
that's the beauty about movies, right? They live forever on
Yeah.
film. and some of the roles. Like, I mean, I can't see anybody playing that role other than Tizo, right? So, and then of course Sly did his most of his own stunts in that movie, right? And there's a scene where
Crazy.
the cop car flips over, and like, Brian Denny and Sly both had broken ribs in that movie, and
Oh, really?
so when they did the scene where they jumped off the cliff, when he jumped off the cliff,
Right.
Sly didn't do the initial stunt where he jumped off the cliff. He did
Okay.
the ending where he was falling through the trees. They had to do it 4 times,
Oh,
right? So after the fourth time you break a rib, we'll just take what we got. But the stunt man, he suffered some serious injuries from that fall, like a sternum and a spleen injury. So,
man.
like, these stuntman guys, I'm telling you,
Oh,
when
yeah. Back then,
when
I
they
mean,
make it,
there was no
there's no
CGI and stuff.
CGI, right?
Yeah.
So what do you want me to do? Jump off the cliff? All right.
Yep.
Well, he jumps off a cliff, and
Put a couple pads here and there,
then
and then off they go.
zoom into Sly's face, and who
That's
gets all
right.
the accolades, right? Not the
That's right.
stuntman, but these guys. You ask the Stallone and The Rock, and they couldn't do it without these stuntmen, right?
Oh,
So,
no.
and stunt women too. Let me
Yeah.
put that
Yeah.
make that clear. So
Yeah. Now, I remember I read correctly that the brown tarp thing that he ties around himself, that was improv.
yeah, it was just
Is that true? Do you know?
yeah, I agree. Like, that's what I heard too, and he just saw it, and I mean, there's, like I said, you have the ability to think on the fly sometimes, and sometimes you just gotta let the camera roll, right? So,
Yeah.
um, it's
Yeah,
not
he's
always
kind
going to
of
work out.
rummaging through that little area
That's
there, and
right.
he's freezing, trying to
Yeah.
figure out what to do.
Well, the original film was 3 hours, and they were never going to put a movie out 3 hours long, and they whittled it down to 90 minutes.
Man,
But
jeez.
they also had an alternate ending. So the ending for First Blood was John Rambo doesn't survive.
Right.
He, commits suicide,
Right.
and Troutman has a gun in his coat. He pulls it out, and Rambo grabs the gun, pulls the trigger. They thought, okay, we're going to wrap up, and the director said, okay, we're going to do. Now, this was Sly and him talking, like, he's been shot at, he's been harassed, he's been jumped off a cliff, he's been running through freezing water. Like, are we just going to let him die at the end of this?
Right.
What if we do another one? And the producers didn't want this, right? They were like, no, you're over budget, you're over time. There was arguments, and the director said, look, this is what we're doing. They filmed 2 endings, and obviously I think we all agree that they went with the right choice.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
definitely. There wouldn't have been any others, so that would have right
no,
there
that's
alone
right.
been
But
point the point. But
yeah,
he's right though. I mean, he just did all that. He went through all of that, and it didn't just give in to the sheriff,
yeah,
and then he just goes and offs himself. I mean, that's
yeah.
I agree. I mean, it wouldn't have been as climactic of an ending, and the
Hmm.
way the ending was. I mean, it's more realistic.
Hmm.
You
Well,
know,
even later when you see him in First Blood Part 2, and they're on the boat, and she says, why are you here? And he's like, long story. She's like, long ride. So it keeps affecting him, right? Like,
yeah,
he says, I went back to the States, and I found out there was another war going on. She's like, what war? And it's like, war you can't win. So it really touched home, I think, with a lot of, I can't speak for myself, but I mean, I think that movie touched a lot of veterans, right? Like, the effects
I
that
would
they
think.
had
Yeah, I would think. I mean, it
coming home from
really did.
Vietnam.
PTSD was addressed in the
Hmm.
movie, and shows that it's hard for them to come home to see what
Yep.
they saw and do what they've done.
Hmm.
And some of them, unfortunately, are homeless and jobless and
Yep.
having a hard time making ends meet or whatever the case may be. So
Hmm.
I'm sure they could relate to it. And this was 82.
Hmm.
I mean, so it wasn't that far removed from Vietnam.
Right.
It was about, maybe, if I had to remember correctly, maybe 5-6 years removed.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's just like when David Caruso reads his file.
Right.
Like, this guy's
Yeah.
a war hero, man. What are you doing? Like,
Yeah.
what are
Yeah.
you trying to do? I mean, he's got every accolade there is.
That's right.
But yeah, it's good stuff. Good stuff. I mean, we could talk about Rambo, as much as you want. Like I said, you definitely know more about it than I do.
Well, like I said, it was, I think when I seen it, it was just, I mean, like I said, I love Rocky. I love all Sly films.
Mhm.
it was just something about the Rambo, when, like the First Blood when it came out. It was just such a good movie, and like I said, there just wasn't a lot of dialogue in the movie, but you knew what he was
Yeah,
doing or what he was
yeah.
facing, and it just, I don't know, it was just like I said, I saw it when I was about, geez, I would have been about 12, I think, when I saw it. About the
First
same
Blood.
time, yep.
First
So
Blood,
it
right.
came out in '82, and I saw it probably a couple years later on VHS, and I really didn't know anything about it. We just, we read the back of it and said, "No, this looks pretty good." So, and boy, it was pretty good.
Well, speaking of everything being pretty good, we're gonna have a nice little quick segment every week. We talked about
Hmm.
doing a trivia segment every week. We'll do a little Rocky, a little Rambo, and since we're talking Rambo, let's see if you know your Rambo trivia there.
All
So we'll
right,
do we'll do a little trivia, but one or two questions. Nothing crazy, nothing to put you on the spot.
trivia night.
You
Look
know,
at that. That just reeks of the '80s right there, right?
that's isn't that cool? It really does. It looks like something you'd see in Blockbuster, right?
I think is that Mrs. Stallion give you that picture? Did she?
No,
Did
no,
you
that one I
find that
found
one?
all on my own. So,
Yeah.
but so let's see. So Rambo trivia. I came up with a
All
couple
right.
questions. One's pretty easy for you,
Okay.
and one I'm sure you'll get, but I'm not 100%. So in First Blood, Rambo, in the beginning of the movie,
Hmm.
you see him walking on that farm, and he goes to talk to the lady doing her laundry, and he went there to see one of his old Vietnam War buddies.
Hmm.
So who was he going to try to visit?
He was going to see Delmore Barry,
There you go.
and he came up and said he got what do I got? Tissue and junk in my pocket
Yeah,
here, and he says, "Oh, here he is." He goes, "We had to put him in the back. He was so big. If we put him in the front, he'd take up the whole picture,
right.
right?" And she says, Delmore's gone. He's just gone. Yeah, died
Yeah.
died last summer. So he never got to catch up with his buddy. But it was Delmore
Yeah.
Barry.
Yep, that's correct. That was the one I thought you would get easy. I
Yeah.
kind of figured that. So the second one I found came across. I didn't think was as easy. Probably easy for you, but I don't know about the rest of the Rambo fans.
Hmm.
So when they arrested him and they brought him to the station,
Hmm.
sheriff turned him over and said, "Okay, book him." And so what did he claim to be arrested for, and what was he getting booked for?
Well, what did he claim he was booked
No,
for,
the,
or
the
what did he?
sheriff was saying,
Okay.
book
Yep.
him for this. I mean, he was making stuff up because he wanted
Sure.
to
Yeah.
arrest
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
But so he was claiming to arrest him for, and what was he arresting for?
Vagrancy.
Vagrancy. Yep.
Vagrancy. Yeah.
Yep.
And I believe it was carrying a concealed weapon.
Yep. And
And
there's one more.
he. Okay. Let me see here. I probably should know this, but
Well, he was giving the sheriff a hard time by getting arrested. So
resisting arrest, wasn't it?
there you go.
Was it? Yeah, because
There you
I
go.
remember he pulled out the knife and he
Yeah.
says he gave it to him and he says he used it for hunting. He says, "What are you
Yeah.
hunting? Elephants? Buffalo or elephants?" That's, anyways. I think it was
So yeah,
buffalo,
see,
but
you swept the Rambo trivia. See
yeah, well, I
that?
had to think about it because I knew it was vagrancy. I knew it was resist. No, I didn't know the resisting arrest,
I
but I
know it's
mean,
funny because I'll say how
you know,
much I know about Rocky, and then I always
yeah.
get scared I'm not going to know the answer to a trivia question. Look like a fool.
People will be saying, you don't know anything.
I know, right?
But
Some of them. There's some obscure stuff in there.
yeah.
That some others might not know. I like the
Well,
obscure ones.
let me flip the tables here on you since we're doing some
Okay.
trivia night. We'll try some Rocky trivia here. Okay, so let me see. So in Rocky, now, first of all, can we just say that it's Rocky, not Rocky One?
Oh,
I think
agreed.
we've
Please.
talked about this before.
Yeah, you and
It's
I have. I don't
Rocky,
think I don't think we
Rocky
did in the
Two,
show, but
Rocky
yeah,
Three.
I drives me crazy when they call the original movie one.
Yeah,
No matter
it's
what it
not
is, Back to
it's
the
not Rocky
Future,
One. It's
Jaws,
Rocky.
anything.
Yeah,
Rocky. You say
that's
the
right.
original, that's fine, but it's Rocky. That's it.
So in Rocky,
There you go.
uh, we see Rocky come into the locker room and
Mhm.
open his locker or attempt to, and he can't. So he tries again and he can't. So he thinks he forgot his combination.
Oh,
So
yeah.
where does Rocky keep
Oh,
his combination?
I wish I would have been prepared. I would have brought my hat out and showed you. Took the fedora off and he took the little paper
That's
out.
right. That's
Tried the
right.
combo
Write it
again and it
down.
still didn't
So you
work.
know what? I have to write everything down. My kids bug me that I have a smartphone and I can
Yeah.
keep all that information. I I still use the back of an envelope to
Pen
write
and
our
pen.
grocery lists.
Pen and
and
pen.
I'm the one. You can tell the older people at the grocery store were walking around with a
The
list
paper.
and and a piece of paper. And
That's
I'm not
good.
even using a new piece of paper. I'm using the hydro bill. I'm
Right.
using the back of the envelope for the grocery list because it's okay.
That's funny.
It's
It's
all
true
right.
though.
So,
It's true. I
yeah.
do the same thing.
All
Do
right.
the same thing. So yeah, it was in his hat. He had it up in his fedora.
Write
And
it
then he still
down.
didn't open it, so he smashed it with a fire extinguisher.
Yeah. Yeah. And then he wasn't very happy that his stuff wasn't in there, right?
No, when he saw the locker stuff was definitely not his, he was definitely upset.
All right. So Apollo Creed in Rocky,
Mhm.
the bicentennial fight, was not originally supposed to fight Rocky. Who was he
Correct.
originally supposed to fight?
Oh, I know this one. Mac Lee Green.
Mac Lee
Broke
Green.
right then he break his hand,
He broke his
metatarsal
wrist.
or something in
Yeah,
his hand or
broke
his
his
wrist.
hand. Yep.
Yeah, that's right.
Good
Mac
one.
Lee
Yeah.
Green. Took me a minute though. You almost got me.
That's good. All right. So those were easy ones. I got a hard one for you now.
Oh, you got 3.
I
Okay.
got 3. I got one more. Well, I got it. You blew through the first 2 pretty good. So in Rocky,
Mhm.
so the man he works for, Gazzo, is
Mhm.
a loan shark. Gazzo pays him cash. Okay. How much money does Rocky get from Gazzo in the first movie?
Total for the whole movie?
For the whole
We
movie.
gave him remember we gave him $20 when he picked up the money from the guy he didn't break his thumbs.
Yep.
So that's 20. And then he got 50 for going on a date with Adrian.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, "Here's $50. Have a good time." Remember, he goes, "How do you know her name?" Don't think
Hey,
I hear things.
don't you know I hear things? A lot of canaries
And
flying around
then
the dock.
when he went to Pat's cheesesteak, he gave him $500 for training. So that's 550, 570.
570. You did
570.
it.
Yeah.
You know what? I was proud of myself. I thought there's no way he's gonna get this. I'm gonna say, I honestly thought he's gonna say $500 because he gives you $500. But you're right. You give him $20
Yeah.
for collecting. He gave him $50 for a date,
For the date. Yeah.
and he gave him 570. And the reason that's so important is because in 1976, $570 was a
Yeah.
lot of money, right?
$500 is a lot of money. Yeah. So when he gave him that for training,
Mm-hmm.
then he went back over and took the cigarette out of his mouth.
Yeah.
He said, "You're
Come on, we're
training.
training, hey.
Come on."
I love when he went up to him and he says, you got any money? I got a few dollars. He never. I think Rocky was always so proud, right? Like he
Yeah.
always never said, "Oh, I'm broke" or I've got nothing. And we knew
Yeah.
he didn't have anything. I mean, look at his
Sure. Yeah.
apartment, right?
Oh
He's
my
working for a
goodness.
loan shark and he's
That's a
fighting in
whole
clubs.
episode in itself, that apartment. You could just
That's right.
nitpick that apartment. Oh my goodness.
We could just put that on the screen and we could just talk about that for
Just talk about
probably
every
2 hours.
item. Exactly.
Highlight the
Exactly.
turtles, the empty beer bottles stuck in the back of the couch.
Oh,
Right?
and wasn't, if I remember correctly, wasn't there rifles and stuff around in that room too? If I remember correctly,
Geez,
I think
I
there was
don't
a
know if
couple rifles or
well,
a couple
maybe
swords or something. There was weapons. I know that.
maybe a sword. I don't know.
Maybe
You know what?
maybe he was premeditating Rambo. I don't know.
I'm gonna have to go back and look at that.
Yeah, I know.
I don't
Same
remember
here.
that. Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
There's a good one. Well,
So
all right.
so you want to do a little more? Or you want a couple more? I had some Top Gun trivia
Oh yeah,
from I
original
figure from last
Top Gun.
episode. Yeah, why not?
All right. Well, we're not
We
gonna,
talked about
like I
the
said, we're not
original
gonna
last
spoil
week.
the Maverick yet. So let's do some.
No,
Top
I
Gun.
think you're right. We were going to talk Maverick this week. I think it's a little too soon.
Mhm.
Tim and I talked. We think it might be. We'll give you one more week. All right, one more week to go see it.
Go see it, and then we're gonna spoil it for you.
Then we'll put a disclaimer on there. Spoilers alert. Don't
Well,
don't.
we need something to talk about, right? So
Exactly. So all right. So original Top Gun. So they had the pilots back to back in the F-14s.
okay.
Maverick was in the front, Goose was in the back. Goose was Maverick's Rio.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So what does Rio stand for? I know we talked about this. So I know you know this.
Yeah.
I know you
Okay.
do. You got it.
It's okay. It's radar. I know it's a radar officer.
Yep. Oh, all you need is that eye.
Oh, geez. I was gonna say inspection, but that's not right because he's got to do something. It's something to do with intercepting, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Is it
yeah, well, that's it
intercepting
right there,
because he's
yeah,
got to
radar
intercept
intercept
the?
officer.
Okay,
Yep. Yep,
you know
yeah.
what? I had to think about it because I knew he was obviously they're both officers. He's the do I knew he did the radar because there's
Yeah.
another MiG coming in.
Yeah,
So
he's sitting in the back, he's got the radar in front.
I
He's the
always
one
get that
kinda
wrong, and
yeah,
I always think inspecting, but what are you inspecting? You're in the air,
yeah.
right? Like you don't have time to inspect. So
That's right.
that's a hard one. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, no, he's looking out for everything else, making sure Maverick's not
Yeah.
getting attacked in angles you don't see.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Pretty
All
cool.
right. So I'm going to ask you a Top Gun question now. So we'll flip it back to you.
All right.
All right. So at the beginning of the movie, uh, we see a situation where, um, they're in the air. They get involved with the MiGs.
Mhm.
Okay. So one of the pilots has a breakdown. They get him back to the ship. You
Right.
know, although they weren't supposed to because they were low on fuel. Okay. So who was the pilot that had to turn in his wings that made Goose and Maverick number one? Maverick and Goose are number two. The
Oh,
pilot
that's
was
right.
number one. What was the pilot's name?
Oh, I don't remember the second pilot's name. I'm trying to think of the one that went in the office. He said, "I almost orphaned my kid. I haven't
Yeah.
seen him yet."
Yeah. He
It
says,
was, Cougar.
you
That was
did it. Yeah.
Cougar.
Cougar.
That
Yeah.
was Cougar,
Cougar.
but I can't remember whose Cougar's Rio was.
Yeah. I
I
can't
can't remember
remember.
whose
No,
Cougar's
I can't
Rio was.
remember. So,
Yeah.
guys, listen, if you guys uh, can tell us, because our memories are starting to slip here as we get
I might have known an
older.
hour ago, and I forget
So,
now. Yeah.
um, drop us a comment and tell us who his wingman was, because they do have a conversation with Maverick. They said he's not good, Mav. Like that MiG shaked him up pretty bad.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
he actually had a part. He had some lines,
yeah,
but I don't know. I can't
yeah.
remember if
Because
they
Maverick was
actually
talking to him
mentioned his
because
name.
Cougar wasn't saying anything when he was
No,
in the
he was
jet up
just
there.
gone,
He
right?
was all
So,
just freaking out and spacing out.
yeah,
And
that's right.
yeah, I don't remember who it is though. I can't remember. I want to say Hollywood, but I know that's not right.
Yeah,
It doesn't
yeah,
make sense.
no,
But yeah, let us know down there in the comments below, or let us even know if you like the trivia.
yeah,
Maybe we'll do a different format with it. Maybe we'll just ask questions and leave you to answer them, or maybe
hmm
we'll answer them ourselves, or we're just playing around trying to see what segments work, what don't work, and
hmm
take it from there. So if you liked it, let us know in the comments below. Definitely.
yeah, that's great. No, I want to go back real quick though, if that's okay,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to just give, just because we were talking about Hope and BC, I want to give a shout out to a friend of ours, Joanne Yee. So we connected with Joanne through the Rocky Files.
Mm-hmm.
Joanne's had a bit of a struggle, so
Mm-hmm.
health wise, but I'm happy to see her today. She posted that she was back to work today for the first time. So
Nice.
we just want to give Joanne, we just want to give you a shout out and say that we're so happy that you're doing better. We're all pulling for you. We're all in your corner. That's the beauty
Absolutely.
of Rocky Land, Tony.
Yep.
We all
Yep.
stick
Sure
together.
is. Sure is. I don't say the shout out is as cool as Tim does, Joanne, but I'll say the shout out. I don't know if I did that Canadian accent good or not, but no, absolutely. It's so good to see her up and go. She's the definition of keep moving forward, man. She had a lot
Yeah,
handed to her and got hit and took the hits and kept going.
yeah,
Good for her. I'm
absolutely.
happy.
We don't have a holiday in June. We have one coming up, but July 1st, Canada Day. You
Okay.
guys have July 4th, obviously.
Mhm. Yep.
But I'm telling you, Joanne we could have a holiday for that lady. She's a good Canadian girl, and we're all happy she's feeling better.
And that's the funny part about the Rocky community, so to speak. You wind up somebody will message you or comment on your post or say they
Mhm.
like this or that or the other thing, and you don't know where they're from. You just know they
Right.
like Rocky, and
Yeah.
you're kind of connected through that. And then you find out they're from Canada, like
hmm
my co-host pal here, or you find out you're from Florida, or even further out, you're from
hmm
England,
hmm
or Romania, or I mean, Karina is a
Yeah.
huge, huge
Oh my
Rocky fan.
goodness.
I
Yeah.
know she comments and posts about everything on Rocky, and a very sweet girl. But she's from Romania. I mean,
hmm
when in the world would I ever speak to anybody from
Oh
Romania?
yeah.
You
And you
know,
know
and
what?
then
When this airs, she was in the comments, in our last episodes. It's 4 in the morning. It's 4 in the morning when this is on, people. So if that's not dedication to, um, you know, supporting
Yeah,
people in the Rocky Files,
yeah,
I just want to say thank you very much, Karina.
yeah, absolutely. Thank you for getting up or staying up or whatever it is you do to watch the show. But
Absolutely, yeah.
it's so
No, that's
cool though. I
great.
mean, they're from everywhere. You just don't know where to go. I mean, Carol's from
Mississippi.
Mississippi.
Yeah.
I just chatted with her last week about something, and
Another huge Rocky fan, Carol,
they're
right?
all
So,
over. I mean, Stacy. Well, now Stacy's in Tennessee.
yeah.
But it's pretty cool. It really is
Yeah.
pretty cool.
We got
But
Rick in Syracuse, right? So,
who?
Rick Babcock.
Yeah, he's way
So,
up in Syracuse or upstate New York area. I know
I
that.
like how I like how you said way up, way up. For me, it's like
Well, I'm way down, so of course you're way up.
it's like kind of beside me. It's not way up.
Yeah.
I'm
Well, I mean, if I say down, I'm talking about Cuba.
Yeah,
That's
that's right.
about it. There's nothing else down.
It's funny how
Well, West
how
Palm.
the world works, right?
West Palm is down and across from me, so
Yeah. Well, that's like I said, Vancouver is for us is I could drive to Florida and back the same amount of time it would take me to get to Vancouver.
well, like I said, it's
So,
like a New York to LA type of
right.
trip. It's 3,000
Mhm.
miles. Well, New York to LA. My
Mhm.
wife and I drove that before.
Mhm.
It was 43 or 44 hours straight.
Yeah.
You wind up becoming Jack Nicholson in The Shining by the time you get to New Mexico. It's like cooped up in that
There's another
car.
show.
Yeah.
We could talk The Shining for a whole show, right? So,
We could tell, yeah. I mean, that's another classic that you have to see.
yeah.
Once we get towards October, maybe that's what we'll do every week. We'll do some horror
Just the
movies.
music in The Shining. When that music hits,
Yeah,
I'm just like, I don't have a good feeling already. This is gonna go bad.
I'm already freaked out. Nothing happened yet.
Just, mhm. There's a Rocky connection to that too, right? So, um, so
Enlighten me because I don't know
yeah.
where you're going.
No, okay. So the actor that plays Duke, Tony
Oh
Burton,
yes,
is
yes.
in The Shining. Sorry,
He's yeah.
everybody was waiting there for me to say something, and I was in my mind I was trying to get it out.
I was not. I had no idea where you were going, but you're right. I forgot about that. Tony
Yeah,
Burton is in it.
yeah.
That's right.
So
He is in that. It's brief, but he's in it.
brief,
Yeah.
yeah. But like I said, it's funny. My dad used to watch movies, and oh my god, it drive me nuts. So we'd be 10 minutes in. Who's that guy? Well, what movie was he in? Well, he's in this one.
Oh, he's a
So why don't we
talker.
watch it? Like we can talk about this afterwards. But he was like,
Well, he's in The Shining.
yeah. Well, what movie was he in? Well, he was in this. Well, what else was he in? I've seen him before. Of course he was, because he's an actor.
Oh, that's
So,
funny. That's
but
funny.
and then my dad would say, "Well, how does this movie end?" I don't know. Well,
He
I'm gonna
wants to
go to
know
bed.
the
Let me
end?
know. Yeah, he wanted to know the end because he wanted to go to bed. My dad worked on a farm when I was growing up. He was a farmer, right? So he was up at 5:30, 5 o'clock, out
Oh,
the
so
door at
he wanted to
5:30.
go to sleep and just
He
okay. I
wanted to
got
go to
you.
sleep,
I
so
got you.
he would never make the late show. I asked him to go see Top Gun, Maverick,
Right.
and I said, "It's at 10:15." Oh no,
I know that's
that's
like
too late.
Sophia bought us tickets for tomorrow night. Tomorrow's her birthday.
Yeah.
So we'll have an early happy birthday to my Sophia.
Happy birthday, Sophia.
19, hence the lovely color hair.
Oh,
Her
she can
father
drink
has.
now.
Easy. Can't
She
drink
can
yet.
drink now.
United
She can
States,
drink.
21.
Oh, well, you guys got to do something about that. Come on up to Canada. Sophia, come on up
I
to
have to
Canada.
Canada. Go see Tim.
We'll party. You only have to be 19. She's probably on the
She
car right now.
she bought the movies tickets for tomorrow night and 7:00. So I'm doing the math. I'm like, it's a 2-hour and 17-minute movie. I'm like,
Mhm.
we're not even leaving the theater until 9:30. Like,
Mhm.
oof. I mean, I get up at 5, so I like to try to hit the sack a little early.
Yeah.
If I could, but all good. It's her birthday. That's fine.
No, that's great.
I was surprised she wanted to go see it again. It's good. What do you want to do for your birthday? She's like, well, we always go to movies on my birthday.
Mhm.
I'm like, okay, what do you want to go see? We saw everything that's out there right now. Nothing new because Jurassic World
Mhm.
is Friday.
Okay.
So
Are you going to see that?
Yeah, we're going to go see that. But
You don't
tomorrow,
want
we're
to
gonna
do something
see
on your
Top
birthday, right?
Gun. Yeah.
Mhm.
So you like the Jurassic movies?
I do. Yeah. Let me see. I want to be cool here and know exactly how many there are, but
I'd
how
have
many
to think about
movies
it
are there?
too. I'd have to think about it too. So
Now
I know there's
this one, the trailer, because the trailer they played at Top Gun, it seems
yeah.
to have the original cast in it.
Yes, it
Even
does
the
now. Now it
professor
came yeah, it came back,
who is
they
no
went
longer
with
with
the
us.
original people. They got Jeff Goldblum and,
Mhm.
um, oh my god, O'Neill, Sam O'Neill,
Yeah, and now
and
Sam
then,
O'Neill has passed away, has he not?
since then, I don't know if he did or not.
Okay.
Maybe he
I
I don't
thought he
know.
did.
And then the young lady's Laura Dern?
Okay,
Yeah,
yep.
Laura Dern.
Yeah.
And yeah, they were in the but I believe there's 3 Jurassic Parks,
Mhm.
and then I think this is the 3rd Jurassic World.
Right.
I
Okay.
again, guys, in the comments, let us know if we're wrong, which we probably are. So, because I like them and I do watch
Yeah.
them, but I mean, I'm not a
Now
massive fan.
I remember the very first one, and
Oh, that was unbelievable when you
I had
saw
my
it.
first apartment, and of course we're back to VHS, so I rented it at Jumbo Video. Do you guys have Jumbo or Blockbuster? You did
Yeah,
Blockbuster back in the
Blockbuster.
day, right?
Yeah,
So
Blockbuster.
we had both. We had Jumbo Video first, and then Blockbuster moved in. So I rented Jurassic Park, and I, for whatever reason, I put it on at midnight. I said I'm gonna get this at midnight because, see, if you rented a movie at 12:05 a.m. Now this was a
Uh,
little trick. So if you rent a movie at 7 o'clock at night, you had to bring it back the next night, right before midnight.
right,
But if you rented
right.
it at midnight, you got it for actually 2 days
Like an
because you're
extra day.
technically into the first day. So
Just
they
make
were
sure
open
you
24
rewind.
hours.
Just make sure you be kind and rewind, right?
Yeah.
Don't turn them back, not rewound.
Yeah, it was cheaper to keep it and rent it again than pay the rewind fee.
It was. It was.
So,
That's
but
funny.
I remember
That came
watching
out, I
that.
think the original came out what, 93? 92?
I think it was 92.
Yeah, 92 sounds about right.
92, 93, yeah.
Yeah, because
But I
I saw it in
remember
the theater.
the scene I remember the most was they were in the cars, and he went up and left the kids in the car, and the glass of water was sitting on the
Yeah,
dash,
yeah,
and you hear
yeah. And actually, here's a good piece of trivia for
yeah.
that scene. Spielberg didn't like the way the water was doing it when they were pounding
Mhm.
they were hitting the car
Yeah,
to make it move.
right.
And he like, it doesn't look right. It doesn't look like something's coming.
Mhm.
So they actually put a bass guitar string in the dashboard of that car
Oh, I didn't know that.
and
I
plucked the
never knew
guitar
that.
string. Yeah, they
Really, eh?
plucked,
I
and when
just
they plucked it, it
I
came that perfect circle where it just
yeah.
went like that.
I just remember saying, "Holy, this
Mhm.
is not gonna be good." Like,
Yeah,
I just remember watching the water, and the camera work was so good, it just focused on that water,
that's
and I'm
Spielberg,
thinking,
man. He's a genius. You
yeah,
know, he's a filmmaking genius. I mean, you
mhm,
knew it was going to be good.
yeah.
Yeah, that was something else, and that was when CGI kind of just started.
Well, that's the
You
thing,
know,
and George Lucas was on set with him, and, George and Steven were our best friends, good friends, did a lot
yeah,
of movies together,
yeah,
right? And he says, "Steven, this is amazing what you've done here." And he says, "George, we're doing this because of you, because of
yeah,
what you did with Star Wars.
yeah,
We're
sure,
able to do this." And he says,
yeah,
"What are you talking about?" He goes, "If you didn't do Star Wars, none of us would be doing what we're doing." And that's when he decided to go back and uh, redo A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back and
right,
Return of the Jedi,
right,
and added the scenes that he wanted to, that he just couldn't do in 1977.
right.
Right. So they were doing stuff in 1977 that had never been done before, right? Working with the models, working with the
Oh
green
God, yeah,
screens.
and to make it look like it did. I
Right.
mean, it was so
Right.
realistic looking. You know, it did.
The funny thing about the Star Wars is a lot of cities bet against it, right? So I remember Tom Hanks, and he was at an award ceremony for George Lucas, and he said he lived in Cleveland in 1977.
Mhm.
And he said Cleveland did not get Star Wars. The
Really?
rest of the country got Star Wars. And I forget the movie that I should have looked this up, but he said we got this movie, and the rest of the next day in the papers was all Star Wars, and
All Star Wars.
everybody
Oh
was the
yeah,
news, and he was like,
yeah.
we had to wait 3 months
Oh
for
my
get
God,
Star Wars
3 months.
because they were like, they thought, well, this is silly, this is a
Right.
kids movie,
Yeah.
we're not going to be playing a movie about aliens in our theater.
Yeah. No, that's
And
that movie definitely, when we after that movie came out, you wanna talk about a movie taking over the country or the world.
mhm,
I mean, oh
mhm,
my goodness, there
yeah,
was Star
so
Wars
just
mania.
think about that. 1976 was Rocky.
Mm,
1977 was Star Wars,
yep.
right? You got 1978, you got Rocky 2. Like,
Yeah,
um,
79 was Rocky 2.
oh,
79 was
sorry,
Rocky 2.
Yeah,
And then you
79.
got
So
an 80 was Empire Strikes Back.
right, Empire Strikes Back. I
Yeah.
mean, that was the start, people, of. I mean,
Yeah.
wow,
Oh, yeah.
like it was just.
82 was Rocky 3, and then
Mhm.
I think 83 was Return of the Jedi,
83 was Return of the Jedi.
and then
So
84 was Karate Kid. I mean,
Karate
it just
Kid,
kept
like
it just kept going. It's like
right. Eight,
you're talking about
85
2
was 85 was you got Rocky 4.
Rocky
Okay.
4. Yeah.
86 was Top Gun. I mean,
Yep.
like I said
I mean, come
before,
on.
anybody in the comments, I challenge you, come
Mhm.
up with a better decade than the 80s for movies. You can't.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
the
yeah,
start, the
you're talking,
70s
I
and
mean, if you
80s.
talk that 10-year,
Mhm.
76 to 86,
Yeah. Nothing.
there's no 10-year span that could touch that.
No. No. And I understand we have the Godfather movies and we have some Gone with the Wind, and there's
And hey, Godfather
don't
was
get me
only a
wrong.
couple of years prior. I mean, Godfather came
Yeah.
out in 73,
But there's
you know?
some huge movies. And you go back far enough, of course you're gonna get, you're gonna get White Christmas, and you're gonna get
Yeah, but now you're going back, to the
no.
30s and 40s. I mean,
But
so
what I mean is you're not gonna get a string of movies like that, and we can both agree you're not gonna get a 10 or 15-year span where they just knocked it out of the park, right?
no, no. It
Like
just every year it kept getting. In
mhm.
some years there was 2 or 3 movies that came out at the same time, and
Yep,
or it was just unbelievable. I mean, and not only that, but they stood the test of time.
that's right.
We're still talking about them. It's 2022,
Yeah. Well,
you
and
know?
that's the thing, right? Like some of these movies, they just hold up. Like we talked about this last week. Top Gun holds up, right? Because it's not a situation like you said. It's not like they don't actually mention a situation. They just mention a enemy MiG. So
Mhm.
it doesn't matter, like
Which was smart to do that because, I mean,
Mhm,
if you put it in a perspective of the Vietnam War,
mhm.
it'll never translate to 2022,
That's right. Mhm.
but to make it just a generalization of Navy pilots
Yeah.
and then enemy, it doesn't matter,
No,
you
that's
know?
right.
Doesn't
And
matter.
I think we've lost that. In my opinion, we have. Anyways, we've lost that. Other than, I mean, Top Gun Maverick came out. It was pretty big. Jurassic World coming out. Now, the Marvel people may argue with me on this. It just doesn't have the same feel. Like it just doesn't have the same feel when everybody's excited to go. You get a group of 10 people and go to the movies. Like it's not
Mhm.
like Star Wars or Jaws or E.T. It's not like Indiana Jones where you're just the whole I I want to say country, North America, the whole
No,
world is like
it just takes
on the
over
edge of the seat.
society by storm, it's,
Mhm.
Hulkamania, it's Star Wars
Yeah,
mania, it's,
right.
all those things. I mean, it takes over pop culture or whatever
Yeah,
term you want to use, like you said, it takes over
yeah,
society,
that's right.
and then it grows into what it is.
Hmm.
Movies don't do that and don't last the test of time.
Hmm.
There's no way a movie can make the entire society love it and want to see it and the crowds cheering and stuff, and then you don't talk about the movie for 4 or 5 years later.
Yeah,
It
that's right.
just doesn't happen.
Yeah, like
I mean,
I
so
mean, like I said, I grew up on an island, and we would go to see the movie, and then we have a 20-minute boat ride. So you just sit and talk about the movie and what you
yeah,
liked
oh
about
yeah,
it, and the lines and the things that you laughed about, and the things that if you didn't like something about it, or when we like yourself, when are we going to go back and see that movie? Like that
yeah.
was the fun part, and watching it again, I mean, how many times you watched a Rocky movie, and it sometimes it feels like the first time, right? I
Oh,
don't know
definitely.
why, but
Yeah.
it's
I agree. I told you this the last episode. I
yeah,
was like, sometimes I'm sitting there, I'm like, come on, Rock, put your hands up.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I'm like, I know what's going to happen. What,
yeah. Like I
but
mean, I look at
you
Rocky
get
2,
into
and
it.
I look at Rocky 2, and he's Adrian's in the coma, and he won't leave her bedside, right? Like, and he's like he's training, and he won't train, and Mickey can't get him to train, and Paulie doesn't want to talk to him, and it's just it grabs you. Like I said, Sly has that ability
Yeah.
to know what the audience wants, right? Like
Oh, God, yeah.
there's so many life lessons in those
Absolutely. I
movies,
mean,
right?
like if you look at Balboa, and I'm not too proud to say the end of Balboa when Rocky goes to Robert's house
Hmm.
and his grandson opens the door.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are. If you have children
Hmm.
and you don't cry,
Hmm.
you're a robot because
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just every time though.
Hmm.
I mean, the first time, okay, it's touching, it's teary eyed,
Yeah.
it's emotional,
Hmm.
but to watch it again and again and again, and it still happens. It still
Yeah.
makes you emotional and still makes you go, "Oh man," and give you a
Well, as
little
soon as
white.
he, because the first line he says, "You look like his mother."
Oh, I
You
lost
know
it.
what I mean?
I cried
And
like
then
a baby.
and then it's Logan, right? Is the
Yeah,
grandchild, and he
yeah,
says, "Is that a ball?" He goes, and Rocky can barely get out the words, "Yeah." He's like, "Yeah,"
yeah,
you know,
yeah. Oh, you could hear it in his
right?
voice. He's like,
Yeah.
"I was just in
So
the
he's like,
neighborhood."
"You
He
want to
can't
play
even talk.
catch?" And he's like, "Yeah." There you go.
That's
You
just
know,
so
and
well written. So well
it
written.
is, and I mean, and that's Sly, right?
Yeah.
That's like he wrote every word, every line
Yep.
from Rocky to Rocky Balboa.
Yep.
Every single thing he like the good lines, the funny lines, the emotional lines, right? So I think that's I'd like to see what he what else he wrote that didn't make it
Actually, I got to
on there.
correct myself now that we just both said Balboa. I was saying Balboa and talking about the grandson, and that was Creed 2.
You know, yeah,
That's what an
you're
idiot
right,
I am
Tony.
right
You're
now.
right. Yeah, but
Paying
he sorry,
attention.
and he wrote those lines for Creed too.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's what made me think about it. I'm
he
like, I said
yeah,
Balboa, but I wasn't even really paying attention, so I
yeah.
apologize.
Well, we got caught up in it, right? So,
I know I
but
did. I did. But yeah, that was Creed 2 because the
yeah.
whole
So
Creed 2 was all father son, you know,
right, that's
both
right.
Dragos, were father son story,
Hmm.
Adonis and Apollo, father
Yep.
son story,
Hmm.
and Rocky and Robert. I mean,
Hmm.
it was all the whole movie, as far as I'm concerned, was
Hmm.
about the father son
Yep.
relationship in
Yep.
one form or another. Drago wasn't able to give the love and affection, the conditional love, like he was a robot. He was groomed by the Soviet Union,
That's
you
right.
know. And then you had Apollo and Adonis. Adonis never even knew him.
Hmm.
It felt like he
No, that's
kept
right.
trying to prove himself to him. And then, of course, Robert and Rocky, which I would love to know, like that backstory. I would love for them to write a book or something like, you know, after Balboa, like why did Robert really feel the stress of being Robert Balboa so much that he had to leave Philly and he went up to because he went up to Canada,
Right. Yep.
so it's like
To
I just
Vancouver.
yeah. So it's like, well,
Remember?
why
Like he
why did he
says,
go? Why did he leave?
yeah. So there's another shout out to Vancouver, right?
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
moved to a place called Vancouver with
Yeah.
his girlfriend. You know,
He's like,
so
I don't know where it is, but
Sly must really like Vancouver, right?
yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I mean it's
I mean,
beautiful.
because the Balboa ended on a good note, where they got along and they kind of saw eye
Yeah.
to eye, and
Yeah.
they got their relationship back. It seemed
Hmm.
so. That's why I was kind of surprised in Creed that he was gone.
Hmm.
And but I'm glad they brought him back in Creed 2. It was
Right.
nice to have that ending. That was a perfect ending. So
Yeah. No, that's good. And like I said, he all his lines in Creed and Creed 2 that he had a hand in
yeah,
writing his lines.
yep.
So
I
no, you're
can't
right,
believe we
Tony. That
talked
was
to
Creed 2.
Balboa.
Wow.
Oh, see what happens when you get older. It's late. I'm almost sleeping, so it's. But at least I corrected myself. I didn't have all the comments going, Tony, what are you talking about?
Well,
You're
it's
senile.
yeah, it's Monday here in Canada. What day is it in Florida?
What day
I'm just kidding you.
what
I'm
day
just
is it in
kidding
my
you.
head?
Yeah. Right. Listen, I'm a shift worker, and the first thing I ask people, they'll say, they'll talk about. So what's today? And they're like, it's Tuesday. I'm like, or they'll say the date. Excuse me. They'll say,
Right.
so, oh, it's the 7th. I'm like, no, what day is it?
Yeah.
Because I work nights, I work days, and
Right. Right.
anyways, that's my problem.
Fun part.
Yeah.
Well, this was good, pal. This was
Yeah,
a good
no,
one.
this is great. And so anybody can find you on Instagram,
Yes, they
right?
can. At Stallion22, Tony. And again, all Rocky posts, motivational posts.
Yep.
Usually do the holiday post, but I'll find some kind of Rocky twist on it. But yeah,
Hmm.
that's where I'm at. Check me out.
Yep.
And then Mr. Tim over here is on there as well.
Yeah. And Mr. Tim has the more exciting at Tim Wistard.
You say you say that every week.
I know it's my my kids say, Dad, that's not funny. I said, I'm not trying to be funny. That's why I came up with
Just
at
being
Tim Wistard.
honest.
Yeah, like they said, put a name in. So I put Tim Wistard.
Yeah, there you
I
go.
said, okay.
There you go.
But no, we're both on Instagram, guys, and check us out. Tell us what you thought in the comments. Tony, as always, this was so good. I
Yeah,
enjoyed
yeah,
it.
it was a good time. I enjoy doing this, so I really do. It's fun. And yeah, like you said, let us know in the comments. Maybe an episode you want to hear about, maybe something you want to see put on the show. like I said, correct us if we're wrong on some of the stuff we talk about.
Maybe we should do some Rocky Balboa trivia because
I'm telling you,
we somehow got a scene from Creed 2 in Rocky Balboa, but
not we. You didn't do it.
Well, I was talking about it. I kept agreeing, and I was like, yeah, that's right, and that's right, and I'm like, and when you said it, I'm like, wait a minute, Jesus,
No, call me
you
out,
screwed
please.
that right
I
up.
wasn't
So
even paying attention. I just saw the scene in my head, and then we were talking Balboa.
yeah,
But yeah, let us know. Let us know what you want to see, what you want to hear, and we'll see what we can make happen.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. So drop us a comment, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button.
Please.
We're on YouTube, we're on Instagram, Round 14 the podcast. Check us out, and thanks so much, guys, for tuning in and having some fun with us, because hey, that's what it's all about, Tony.
It is. That's what it's about. See, I did it good that time.
and what'd you call me? Remember, you wanted to ask me if it was how it was spelled.
Oh, the hoser.
Yeah,
hoser, eh?
Yeah, it's hoser with an S. Not Tony. Tony messaged me the other day and he says, "Ya hoser," and he spelled it Hozer, and I'm like, it's hoser. So no,
now I got it right. That's good.
We're just a couple
a couple
of guys having fun.
That's all right.
And sometimes we forget, but that's okay too.
That's all right.
Anyways, guys, thanks very much. Join us again, guys.
We'll see you next week.
We'll see you guys.